Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. It's very rare when you can be validated over the weekend. Not in a way that makes me happy, mind you, but you get so many things wrong when you do a podcast like this because hot takes and you can be riding and tripping the light fantastic 1 minute, and then the next the Houston Texans are beating your ass. This whole thing is always one surprise away. But what happened against the Knicks was a complete validation of Friday's program. Let's go over it, shall we? So let me get this straight. You have a night on your home court that is being dedicated to the dead son of Dan Gilbert, who had a truncated, SAT word, shortened life because of massive brain tumors that coagulated in him. Tragedy, to say the least. He became famous for his line, "What's not to like?" So on the very night that they're honoring him, the Cavaliers, did they come out inspired? No. Did they come out looking like anything? No. The Knicks' best player, Brunson, went down within the first minute of the game and likely has a torn Achilles tendon, from what I could gather by looking at it. It's there for the taking, right? Wrong. The Cavaliers proceed to play the pussy basketball that they continue to play over and over and over again because they have the wrong leadership on the team. And I mean JB Bickerstaff. It is impossible to comprehend why the organization is staying with JB Bickerstaff. It is obvious now to a blind person, a person in a coma, that this team has absolutely no spirit. For the team that loves each other so much and just loves to play with one another, no. The coach cannot impart to this group of men the necessity of being prepared and ready to play. So we start the story with the fact that it's the team that did this to us in the playoffs last year. But not the same team. Mitchell Robinson wasn't there. Brunson turned out not to be there. Anunoby hadn't become a Knick back then. And Julius Randle wasn't there. You say to yourself, how did the Cavaliers lose this game? And the answer, all the backups for the Knicks roughed them up. And they can't do a fucking thing about it. And there's JB complaining about the referees. Fire him! A team that was far less talented than us wanted it more. Why? And of course, that's why the players loved JB, because they could fraternize with him, bullshit him into thinking they're working. All you have to do is just take a look at the bodies on some of these guys and then look at Darius Garland, who looks malnourished. All you have to do is take a look at how Evan Mobley gets pushed around, Jared Allen gets pushed around. They give up 19 rebounds to a guard Didn't matter if New York missed. They just get the rebound, get a second and third opportunity. It didn't matter. Cavaliers weren't even out there. And then to make matters worse, you bring in the guy who hasn't played forever now, Sam Merrill, and he goes off for 21 points, but you take him off the floor in the most important part of the game. JB Bickerstaff, ladies and gentlemen, fire him. Pull the trigger. It's unbelievable. And for me personally, watching it made me sick to my stomach. They're not men. They're not playing like men. And I don't mean that in a sexist, gender-oriented way. They're not playing strong. They're soft, like Charmin. Just a roster of soft people who have not been able to learn the other way of playing because they have a head coach who doesn't know how to coach that kind of basketball. He's the kind of coach who doesn't know how to coach. Like I said Friday, he's an interim guy. Interim head coach. Definitely not a full bore NBA coach with credentials. What Thibodeau did to the Cavaliers again, it's embarrassing. What were they preparing for? Did they think that when they carried Brunson off the court that basically, oh, we got it won? No, the damage has been done a long time ago. So, just like the little kid who got picked on in your neighborhood when you grew up, the bullies beat him up, and he never learned how to fight back. So everybody just lived with the fact that the kid was being bullied, and that was okay because he wouldn't defend himself. Now, today, it's different. Bullying, you could say, call somebody, look at the clothes you're wearing. That's bullying. No. Bullying is when a neighborhood kid punches you in the fucking face. That's what bullying is. And if you don't fight back, ain't nobody going to fight your battles for you. That's just the way it works. But it goes one step further. Josh Hart makes a big shot at the end of the game when he, in fact, is a low percentage three-point shooter, goes over to the Cavaliers bench, pulls Donovan Mitchell's chain that he's wearing because he's not playing, and literally walks right into the Cavs bench and does this for all to see. Team sits there and lets him do it. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Hi, Bronk. How you doing?
Hello.
Well, and it's horseshit because, I mean, can you imagine somebody like Josh Hart went to the Golden State bench to piss all over Steph Curry? You're telling me that Draymond Green wouldn't just drop him right on the spot?
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Not pretty much. That's exactly what would happen. He or shiver the guy, knock him around, hurt him.
Yeah.
Right? And every team that I can think of wouldn't put up with that. But the Cavaliers, they sit there like the little kid getting beaten up in your neighborhood, sitting there and taking it. That's it.
Can I tell my little story about last night's game, which is why I came on
Sure.
just now? Here in England, if you're registered with a bookmakers or like whatever ones, I'm not going to mention the one I'm with, they will show live NBA games streamed with no viruses, no nothing, no adverts, and you get the NBA League Pass fee. So last night, it was like 1 in the morning. I was still up. looked at my phone, looked at Bleacher Report, saw that it was halftime, and the Cavs are leading 53-51.
Correct.
So I looked over at what the odds are, and they were giving the Knicks 9-5, and I thought, "Oh fuck, I'm going to have some of that
Oh, it
because."
changed. It went right
Yeah,
down
yeah,
to
yeah,
4.
yeah. They were 9-5. They were 9-5 on the one I was using. So I put my £1 down there, which is like $1.25, and I ended up getting £4 back because I looked at the stats and saw Mitchell wasn't playing, and I saw that the way the 3-point shooting was, that we were going to get our ass kicked in the second half. And sure enough, beginning of the third quarter, we got our ass absolutely kicked, and then we sort of dribbled back and came into the game a little bit. But we were making all of these crazy off balance 3-point shots and crazy 2-point shots. We weren't blocking out. We were giving up rebounds. And I thought, this is like, I'm watching this game. I really want the Cavs to win, but at least I'm going to get something out of it for being up 1-2 in the morning, and I'll get like $5 off of it. So that's my story of the game. The Cavs absolutely sucked in the third and fourth quarter that I saw. I didn't see the first or second quarter. But my big comment is they had Dan Gilbert in the audience. They had
Yep.
all of his surviving family in the audience.
Yep. And this is what they did.
And they bloody hell put up a banner with a little bow tie.
Yep.
That says Nikki Gilbert on it. And that made them fucking choke their fucking shit pants. And the thing that bugs me is that banner is going to be permanently up there in that arena, so that when Dan Gilbert sells a team or dies, and the team is no longer associated with the Gilbert family 20, 30 years from now, that banner is still going to be up there. And some kid in 2045 is going to say, "Dad, what is that bow tie Gilbert banner is?" And he either is A, not going to remember about it, or B, he's going, "Oh, that's the previous owner's son. He died of this illness." And then the kid's going to go, "Well, why is it still up there? It doesn't mean anything to me."
Well,
So,
I got to say one thing. I don't think it's because they choked. I think because they didn't care. They have no awareness.
well, it didn't look good. It's however you want. They didn't try. They didn't care. They choked. They did. I don't know what it was.
I don't
But
care.
the Knicks were the better
can't
team.
play a physical team. They can't and won't play physical ball. I believe they can play, but it's harder to play that way. And that's not the way they want to play. It's not the way the head coach wants to play. And that's the reason why the team loses. Now, David, if you could source the information that Mitchell is going to be missing the next 3 games because he got a PRP shot, that would be important to kind of source that. But, again, it's like I told you, his agent, who's also Karis LeVert's agent, and Karis LeVert didn't play again either. This is orchestrated because JB Bickerstaff plays them too many consecutive minutes in games. And now Bickerstaff has injured Mitchell. Yeah. And this is, I don't know what the delay is. You're asking me what's not to like? I don't like JB Bickerstaff. Not personally, but as a coach, he's inept. He's incompetent.
Wow.
So, very good. Thanks to Amsterdam and David. I didn't get the Twitter message because I was out until the last minute before I got on the air.
Wow.
So, I think that, what's not to like, that you got these guys who are capable of doing so much better on the night that's honoring a young man who had no future because they knew that his condition would cause him an early demise.
Oh God, yeah, it's like it's like other illnesses, like cerebral palsy. Now, that's my next point. Every extended family has had some sort of illness, tragedy, accident that has struck down a young life. And to my mind, it's Gilbert's almost monetizing this fucking disaster by making all the media people eat the macaroni and cheese, and then pimping their restaurant in Detroit, saying, "Oh, Gillies, I'm gonna go make sure I go do that when I'm in Detroit." I go, "What are you fucking talking about?" You know, I just am really bugged by the whole thing. The guy's a billionaire, and he expects people to support a charity that he could support himself. It's just ridiculous.
Well, again, I what I will say is this. I'm sure that Dan Gilbert, who made a television appearance, which you haven't seen him on television in a long time. If you're watching the pregame
No,
show on
I
Bally's,
didn't see that at all.
yep, and he was holding the microphone with his right hand, but his left arm was dead, and he was having some difficulty hearing, and which could have been the noise in the arena, but he looked like he was up against it, and it's got to be difficult for him because
I get that, but why put yourself through that? Why do that?
because people want to remember their child, and people do it all the time. And I think that when you do something like that and the players do what they did, it just shows that
Exactly.
they don't really care. And
Well,
it's a bad look, to be sure, but it's a worse look because it's more obvious when a guy comes over to your bench and taunts.
yeah, taunts you afterward. And there was no technical foul. I mean, where were the referees on that? If somebody makes a shot and goes over and starts taunting a bench, if fucking Ronnie Harrison did that in a football game, he'd get a 15-yard penalty and get chucked out. So
David is asking me what a PRP injection is. Platelet-rich plasma. Basically, what it amounts to, David, is they draw blood from you, and then they put that blood in a centrifuge, and the centrifuge whips around at an amazingly fast rate, and the platelet count in that blood goes way up. So then they inject that same plasma, but with all those platelets in it, back into your knee. And it's like, why would you just, and it's a bone bruise. And, my belief is that it was a thigh injury, but yeah, if it's a bone bruise on the knee, that's a nasty thing. It's designed to help the area heal quicker. But the thing is, because I've known tennis players who got PRP injections, and my knee surgeon had platelet-rich shots and injections, and he said that it really is an effective, answer to these things. But the problem is when you re-inject all that high plasma blood back into your body body has a reaction. All right.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like if you got, and I'm not going to get to talking about vaccines and all that because it'll just get me into trouble. But, when your body, your immune system will react that there's something foreign in your body.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Okay. My question about that is we're both old enough to remember Lassie Viren in the Olympics,
right?
And how he got injected with his own blood and ended up having 10 times more stamina than the other people running.
Oxygenization of his blood was great.
Yeah, and he had to give up his gold medals. Now, how is this that much different from that?
Is it different? I'm not really. No, I'm blood doping back then was not done with centrifuges. I'm not exactly sure how Lasse Viren did that. At the time, blood doping was all the rage in European countries, especially in Olympics athletics.
Yeah, like Finland and Russia and all that shit.
Yep. So again, my feeling here is that the reason he's going to miss 3 games is because he's got swelling and more discomfort in that knee before it turns things around and helps him heal faster. But so that's that. And And you know, I saw this too, Rick, that Russell Wilson is being released. And so
Please release me, let me go.
yeah, well, you know, Russell Wilson, we saw him go from Seattle to hell. And so he's no longer right now employed. And David says he'll probably wind up on the Steelers. Well, I'm assuming the Steelers don't get Justin Fields. I don't know. I mean, if they get Russell Wilson, that's a short-term answer, and they already have a short-term answer.
He's not a fit for them either. Yeah, he's.
But I will say this: Russell Wilson would make a nice backup for the Browns. I'm not saying he would.
That's what he is now. Yeah.
No, I mean
that's what he is now.
Throwing short passes that are the patterns are defined for him. He doesn't have the mobility that he used to have. You know, he might be somebody, because I think most people believe that Flacco is going to go to a New England situation in which they're going to draft a quarterback, and he's going to be the Gary Danielson, if you want to go back.
He's going to raise him from a little puppy, and he's going to be
right. Maybe, so, but it will give him the opportunity to make more money and at least start some games. And when the other guy gets ready to get into the game, he's going to get into the game. The Browns are going to need a backup quarterback. DTR is not a capable NFL quarterback. I think we all saw that last year. He's too small. He doesn't have a strong enough arm. But, you know, they're going back and talking about Jacoby Brissett. So if you're going to talk about Jacoby Brissett, let's talk about Russell Wilson too. It's really the extent of it. It's not I know anything.
I think a lot of the success that Flacco had was down to him being so tall. I mean, we need a tall quarterback. I mean, somebody like Russell Wilson, all these short-ass quarterbacks we've had, you know, Brissett was the best one on, you know, because he was that bit taller and he could run a quarterback sneak. But the Baker Mayfields of the world do not suit this offense. You know, we don't need 6 foot tall quarterbacks. We need 6'5" quarterbacks.
I agree. I mean, and I never really thought that Joe Flacco, career-wise, wasn't the most accurate throwing quarterback. I think if you had in a perfect world, you would have a guy with a big arm who could throw the ball accurately in tight spaces. You wouldn't really worry so much about the deep ball because it just doesn't come up that often.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger would have been ideal for the way our offense was. But
before I digress onto other subjects, you were following the line score of the game, but here's what it amounts to.
Right.
Bickerstaff, he starts Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and his two bigs allow Josh Hart to get 19 rebounds. Okay.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Yep. So that's the first thing that happens. When they come out of the game and Merrill comes into the game, he starts throwing in threes. Everything starts moving, and, you know, the smaller lineup gets things done. He starts out the third quarter with the two big guys back in again because Mobley had picked up 3 fouls by the second quarter, and they took him out through the half. They put him back into the third, and the same fucking thing happens over again.
We got ass raped in the beginning of that third quarter. I thought, Jesus Christ. I mean, you know.
But he saw it happen with his own stupid eyes.
And he didn't learn anything.
No, and he never will learn anything. That's the point. He is challenged. You know, these guys are not tough big men. They never have been. They never will be. They're gentle giants. That's what they are. And, you know, and that's right, Radu, the same front line that was dominated against the Bulls. Exactly right. But he puts them back in. He takes, by the time the fourth quarter comes, and he still got these people in the game, you know, he has Merrill on the floor. He takes Merrill off the floor at the 4.5, 5 minute mark of the fourth quarter with the game still in doubt.
Yeah, it was like 3-point game.
3-point shooter off the floor. And then they just go ahead and they run up the lead again. And the Cavaliers have an opportunity to take lead. They keep missing 3-point shots. And Sam Merrill then suddenly, with 2 minutes left of the game, Sam Merrill gets back in the game. And it's like, fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. If he didn't need 2 minutes of rest, that's fucking JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, that's
sick of
nonsense.
I mean, it ruins watching this team. His presence makes me ill. This is Hugh Jackson-esque to me. The same kind of stuff that I'm sickened by it.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, if you're just going to do the same thing over and over and over again, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it. I know what's going to happen in the end. And people said, well, it's not going to get worse. It's not going to get worse than 3-13. Well, how does 0-16 grab you?
Yeah.
You stupid fucks. It can always get worse. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. They keep this idiot in that head coaching job. They're going to plunge and they're going to be in the playoff. You watch.
You mean to play in?
Yeah. The play in.
No, that was horrible. If that game had been an English team playing in an English game, they would have been booed off the court. People would have just fucking booed them. And I know that's not done, at basketball games all that often, but they would have gotten booed last night had they been playing in another country like that. So, but at least we're not the fucking Golden State Warriors getting pounded by the Celtics. So
Milwaukee's already passed us up number 2, okay? And now the Knicks are 3.5 behind us at 4. And then half a game behind them is Philadelphia. And then, half a game behind that is Orlando. Miami is right there, another half game behind. We are only at this point 5 games ahead of a play-in situation. And it will happen.
You know what we're in? We're in Tom Petty mode. You know what I mean?
The waiting is the hardest part.
No, we're going to be free falling.
Yeah. It's so obvious. I mean, so they'll make the stupid play in and lose again. And then they'll say, well, we're going to get rid of JB. It's like too fucking late now. Donovan Mitchell's gone.
Yep.
And you have a bunch of guys who are used to, summer camp, for Christ's sake. And you're going to try to bring in some hard ass in. And it ain't going to work. And then you'll have to trade them all and you have to rebuild all over again. They fucked up. They hired a bozo coach with talent. They had talent surrounding. They went all in and they got some 3-point guys and they tried to do everything they could to build up the depth. And they have a head coach who doesn't believe in depth. He only knows 7.5, 8-man rotations. That's all he knows.
Yeah, the Cavaliers are like the exact opposite of what the Guardians were the past few years. Great manager, shit team. Now the Cavaliers are great team, shit manager.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is an unfortunate thing, and so I'm done talking about this, and it's not like I have a hell of a lot else to talk about, but there are a few things.
Okay.
All right. One is that Chris Mortensen passed away. And Chris Mortensen was the guy from ESPN who had been there for more than 3 decades. He had retired from broadcasting a year or 2 ago. He had been fighting a battle with stage 4 cancer, and he lost that battle at age 72. Unfortunate. It was throat cancer, which is, he was diagnosed in 2016. I'm surprised that he lived that long with throat cancer. But honestly, it's a horrible way to go. And so he was the guy who was the senior analyst, a big name in the business. And I really feel bad about that. You always hate to see stuff like that. Meanwhile, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Mike Evans, 2-year, $52 million contract. So it's going to be likely that Baker Mayfield will come back. and they're going to have to pay Baker Mayfield $120 million or $150
Wow.
million. Can you believe that? So,
Well, it is what it is, man. Good
no,
luck to
I
him.
don't begrudge him getting the
Yeah,
money, but
yeah.
yeah. So, Rick May says, yeah, we can rename the song "I Will Back Down." Yeah,
That was just absolutely appalling last night.
yeah. You think classless? You know, it's really funny
Yeah,
how organizations can be. You know, it was like Art Modell. You know,
yeah,
what do you expect from an organization that has a guy like that at the top, right? Well,
correct.
the same thing is true with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It doesn't matter they have the long-haired quarterback from Clemson. It doesn't matter that they have him. They will find a way to fuck the simplest things up. They eternally suck and will eternally suck.
Yeah.
All right. Folorunso Farukasi, all right. He is a defensive tackle. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was his birthday. So the team's official Twitter account wished him a happy birthday in the morning, and several hours later, they fired him. You
That's
see,
nice.
this only could happen in a bozo organ. Con! Wait, I'll do it. Con! Oh, yeah. Only in that world.
The wrath of Khan.
Yeah. You know, happy birthday, 94. You're
Bang.
Jetson, you're fired. Yeah. Oh my
Spacely
God.
Sprockets.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Spacely. Now, here's the thing that's beautiful about communication. The Jaguars social media team had no idea that the release was coming, and the team's management was unaware that the social media staff planned to post the birthday greeting. So, with this lack of communication, that's what happened. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah. You know something, Rick?
Oh, here we go.
I feel for you. You know I love you. Okay, yeah. We're gonna do Chaka Khan references.
Wow.
Wow. now this would be good. Yeah. New logo will be an invertebrate. Yeah, there you go. That's an idea.
Oh, so I'm all looking forward to next time I'm in Cleveland to have some of Gilly's mac and cheese now, because I was all set up for it.
Well, you know,
anyway.
it's yeah.
That annoyed me. I'm sorry, but
you know that little cup they were eating?
Yep.
Yeah, that was $10. You had to
10 fucking bucks.
Now wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Are you shitting me?
No, Serena Winters did a live cut-in of her eating.
Yeah, she had this big wodge of goo in her.
Yeah.
Am I describing it right?
Yeah, I guess. She'll see you in a Ken Gailey Kia. So so she's eating from this cup, but in the background you can see that it was called whatever Nick's favorite macaroni and cheese, whatever it was called, and it said $10 next to it. Oh yeah.
I didn't because I'm looking at my phone. I've obviously got this game streaming on my little mobile device, so I wouldn't be able to see that. So I knew who the players were only because I know what they look like. You know, that's how small the screen is. You don't get a lot for free, you know, for like a £1 bet. But
DJ Brobot likes Serena Winters.
I do.
He likes him some of that. Yeah,
I think she's nice. I think she's a nice.
Well, you know, maybe they'll have a cut in next time if the special layer is sausage.
I tell you what, I got an idea to liven up the Guardians games is to have the Cavs dancers dance in between innings on the dugout or something. You know, anything to get anything to distract people from the actual team. So that's my idea for them.
Yeah, and this is very true from DJ Brobot. You know, it was all an advertisement, as they would say in England. for Gilly's Bar in Detroit, and they're not coming to Cleveland.
Exactly. I was amazed watching this thing. I couldn't believe. So Dead Son gets a bar named after him. That's great in Detroit. Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Every time I think of Pat Benatar, and I really like
Okay.
Pat Benatar.
I got a story too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I mean, Pat Benatar's husband is Neil Giraldo, who's from Parma, Ohio.
From where?
He's from Parma.
Oh, really?
He is from Parma. He graduated from Parma High School about 2 years before I did. So like class of 70, blah 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 blah. You can look it up.
Yeah. Well, when she started her career out, they wanted to give her that tough girl kind of thing.
Yeah, they did.
But
like
the videos, you couldn't tell
girl.
she was only 5'1", 5'2". You couldn't tell
tiny.
that. Tiny girl.
She's tiny.
And the song, that was "You Better Run."
And hit me with your best shot.
Right. I mean, "You Better Run." And that was the song that was recorded by the Rascals many, many years before in the late 60s. Okay. So a lot of people thought that was a Pat Benatar song. It wasn't. It was a resurrection of an oldie. But the video, "Just Go Away and Leave Me Alone. I Can't Stand You No More." And I'm laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
It's like, this girl is not tough. It's kind of like the lead singer from Quarter Flash singing "She's Gonna Harden Her Heart." She was an elementary school teacher, for God's sake. She couldn't harden her heart. Might have been able to harden something else, but not her heart. Okay. So, Pat Benatar turns out a really wonderful person. And I thought she and Neil Giraldo did a great thing. They pulled off the road, stopped performing to raise a family. And I thought that was a real class thing to do. And then when the kids grew up, they went back and they started doing gigs on the road again periodically. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. No, there you go. No, they're good people. And song Tiffany, which is also a cover. I think we're alone now, that she's sang in all these shopping malls.
Oh, sure.
The guy who played guitar on that also graduated from Parma as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Same, like 2 years behind me. So there you go.
Everyone's doing the Parma polka. Everyone's doing the Parma polka. If you can dance and do the Watusi, you can do the Parma polka too. Okay.
So what's Parma spelled backwards?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, come on. You never watched The Ghoul. AMRAP.
I watched Ghoulardi when I was really young kid. And by the time The Ghoul came along, it was a little bit infantile for me.
Yeah, because you were so much older. So.
But wait. Is he dead? Is The Ghoul dead?
Ghoulardi is.
Ghoulardi is. I don't know
about Ron Swede. Somebody ought to look up Ron Swede. I think Superhost is dead.
Yeah. Superhost is in the afterlife, but it's like, well, if he's, I hate to make this guy the Ghoul.
Oh, he died.
Dead.
Ron Swede did die April 1st, 2019. He was 70 years old.
Hey, group!
Hey, Overday! Pluck your magic flanger froggy.
Fucking Cotton Club soda commercials, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember he'd spray it under his armpit.
Town Club. It's Town Club soda.
Oh, was it? Town
Club? Yeah, and they used to have an outlet store outside of Southland Mall. And I used to bug my mom we had to go get it. It was right by Yorktown Lanes and Southland Mall, and there was a Town Club beverage outlet. And my mother goes, "That's shit, you know that." She didn't say it that way.
He would spray it under his arms,
Yeah,
that was the whole
Town Club soda.
Yeah. Okay. Before I get done here, Kaylee Griffin, the pregame host, Hot Damn She's Smoking. Yeah, she was one who was interviewing Dan
God, yeah.
Gilbert, and Dan Gilbert was telling her how great she was, and it's like,
Was it creepy?
it was starting to get a little creepy, and I was thinking to myself, she wants a man with a slow hand. This is really, really unfortunate. She wants a lover with an easy touch. I'm going to go to hell. I'm going to go to hell for this.
We both are, because I started out having to go at Nicky Gilbert and his little bow tie, and we were both going to go to hell.
Yeah, Allie Clifton, man.
Yeah.
Well, they knew what to do with her in LA. They didn't know how to dress her. And they don't know how to dress Serena Winters either.
No, not really.
Bally's is living somewhere in the early 1900s. I don't know. Everyone looks like grandma. Man, but Allie Clifton got a whole makeover when she went to LA. It really does look fantastic.
Oh, the best Ohio girl was Allie LaForce, though.
Oh, yeah.
Who married that baseball player. And, yeah, she was, still is.
So, yeah. Here's bass player. He says, the goal was cool, but I was about 6 to 8. Yeah, that's the thing about that. It was like Big Chuck and Houlihan,
Yeah, I thought the Ghoul was better than Big Chuck and Houlihan. I thought the Big Chuck tried to be a little bit too adult, I think, sometimes, and it just went over kids' heads.
We have an argument here. Ron Sweet is not dead.
He is dead. He's very much dead, according to Wikipedia, unless you're saying Wikipedia lies.
Oh, nobody reported it. Well, nobody remembers. We remember this stuff because we're Northeast Ohio pioneers. You see?
Look! He's got a huge Wikipedia page for
really?
What he was. It's like you have to scroll for like about 5 wheels of the scroll there. So he is on there.
Look at this. This is just terrible. This is.
Well, normally we talk about ass rape on here, so this is at least a little bit different. Yeah.
I saw it on Wikipedia. Ron Sweet's dead. That's what you do. It was like
you just argue about it.
Yeah, Barnaby's dead.
Barnaby's dead. Everyone's fucking dead.
They're all dead. Dick Goddard.
Dick Goddard's dead. Doug Adair's dead.
The woolly bears are running for the hills. 72 degrees in the greater Cleveland area, and these fucking assholes say there's no climate change. Fuck every one of you.
Yeah. Oh, not the stroke, David.
Oh, no. That's not the word. Oh, don't do it.
Oh, see, I come on the show. It's sweet.
No, there was
sweet.
No, they don't even remember his name. So.
Don't even remember his name, right?
But this is great. We have an article here. It says a problem area for the Guardians rarely discussed. It's like
power hitting.
There's nothing but problem areas for the Guardians.
What are you gonna talk about?
I mean, you can talk about any part of this team, and it's a problem area. So here's how the article starts. They need to hit more home runs. They need to score more runs. Other than Stephen Kwan, they don't have a legitimate major league starting outfielder.
Yep.
All right. It says that's the negative harangue, and there's some truth to it. No, there's total truth to it. All right. But now the masturbator himself, Terry Pluto.
What's he have to say?
He says, I have another concern, and it could be a big one. Well, kind of would like to have a big one in my hands right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Another concern, it could be a big one, the bullpen. Well, yeah. I mean, the Guardians were 28-17 in one-run games, a driving force behind their 92-70 season, but they were 27-31 when they had a 76-86 season. There are several reasons, Terry conjectures, why a team wins or loses one-run games. It's because you fall short by a run.
Yep.
That's the reason you lose. All right. And here's what new manager Stephen Vogt said. We're probably going to play a lot of one-run games again this year. What makes you think you're going to be that close? You stupid fuck. That's the attitude to go. This is
The
right
gong
up
of
there with the
truth.
Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, think positively.
The gong of truth.
And this was the quote. We're probably going to play a lot of one-run games this year. It's just the way it is in Cleveland. I mean,
Cleveland is Cleveland, I guess.
It's the only, yeah, it's the only way I was going to get a fucking job as a manager.
He sounds like the Rod Chazinski of baseball.
Oh my
You should give him the Rod Chazinski voice.
And what do they have in the bullpen? Oh, Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah.
All right. And you know, he of the sometimes 100 mile an hour fastball.
Yeah.
But if you've noticed, Karinchak isn't even playing this spring because his arm's blown out.
Yeah.
Nobody bothered to work on that windup of his. And so his arm just said, I quit. That's the end of that. You know.
Yeah, but he used to get hit like Charlie Brown. You know, like when Charlie Brown would throw a ball, they'd hit it right back at him. All of his clothes would fly off of him. That's what used to happen to Karinchak.
Well, yeah. And you know, the bottom line is there was nobody except for Class A to close. He was our closer. And then we were really a bullpen kind of in flux.
Committee.
Yep.
Yeah.
And some of the people were just absolutely terrible. And it was funny. They were saying that, hey, good news. Shane Bieber, his fastball was clocked at 94 in his first appearance. And it's like, it was only 91 last year. Yeah, that means that they'll be able to trade him and get something for him, maybe.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
That's all that means.
Wow.
But in the last 3 seasons, Class A has pitched in more games, 223, than anyone else in the major leagues. I'm Casey Kasem. In the last 3 seasons, only 3 relievers have pitched more innings than Class A. In the last 3 years, he's saved more games and been in more save situations than anyone else in the majors.
And
in
his arm's about
2023, he led the majors in saves and blown saves.
Wow. So his arm's going to fall off any minute now.
Oh, yeah, that's just it. You know, and here's the little caption. Guardians relievers Scott Barlow and Nick Sandlin need to produce in 21-24. They need to reproduce. At least they'd be able to get their rocks off. I don't want to hear this nonsense.
Nick Sandlin. He sounds like somebody from the Professional Bowlers Tour, doesn't he? Here comes Nick Sandlin.
Now get this. Why Scott Barlow matters.
Barlow, yeah.
The Guardians traded Daniel de los Santos to San Diego for the 31-year-old Barlow, who has a career 3.36 earned run average and 56 total saves. By the way, last year he was 2-6 with a 4.37 earned run average and all of 13 saves.
Where was that at?
He was playing in San Diego.
So in the National League, he was doing this, huh?
Yeah.
Good luck to us.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're saying, well, he might have a repeat of his 2022 season when he was 7-4.
It's like Mike Zunino that's going to hit 50 home runs last year.
Yeah, he was 7-4 with 24 saves for the fucking Royals. Nobody watches the Royals. There's no pressure. You know, you go to a situation where it matters, and not that it matters in Cleveland. This is a logical course of action. You go from the Royals basically to San Diego, and then you go to Cleveland.
Wow.
And then they're saying that Carlos Carrasco may be looked at as a relief pitcher.
Wow. Good Lord.
And by the way, Trevor Stephan is already out for several weeks with an elbow problem. He wasn't good last year. Karinchak, you know, has a shoulder situation. He was terrible last year. And then there's Eli Morgan, the Amish guy. Every time it's like
the prophet.
Yeah.
Or is that Elijah?
Yeah. Eli Morgan, who's, I don't know why he's still got a major league job. Nick Sandlin and Sam Henches. Henches is horrible. I really like Xavion Curry.
Oh, I like that too, with a bit of chicken and
exactly.
rice.
Yeah, nobody does it like the Indians.
No one does it like the Indians.
No. Not the Guardians.
Thai curry. Thai curry is very good too.
It is. It actually is. The green curry, the Thai green curry is very good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I really like Xavion Curry, who can also be a starter. Carlos Carrasco could earn a spot in the bullpen. And here's two names for Terry Pluto to watch. Franco Ailman and Cade Smith. Both are right-handers. They're 6'5", 230-pound guys, and they both throw in the high 90s. Ailman,
yeah, go ahead.
He opened last year at Class A Lake County, where he had a 5.52 earned run average.
Oh, it's that wind effect coming in off the lake. That's what killed him.
He was then moved up to Class AA Akron, and suddenly he was nearly unhittable.
Nearly.
He didn't allow an earned run in 24 innings, striking out 38. Smith, on the other hand, split 2023 between Class AA and AAA, compiling a 4.02 earned run average. He fanned 95 and 63 innings, but that's the thing, the minor leagues. It's like saying, well, look at what Imani Bates is doing in the G League.
Bates.
It doesn't mean anything, folks.
Yeah.
It's not the same game.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So at any rate, I'm done bitching. I'm done complaining. There's nothing I can do about any of this stuff except share whatever limited wisdom that I have. I do appreciate you coming on with me, Bronk. And
even though the show ultimately takes a disturbing turn most of the time.
But we have very little to talk about. It usually will. That's the thing.
So what the Cavs got this like monster schedule coming up now. Do you want to run through that? They got some pretty horrible games.
Max Strus is out tomorrow with a right knee strain. You see what he did?
Wow.
If you can't get rid of JB, then you don't want to win. And if you don't want to win, I don't want to watch. It's that simple. And Levert and Okoro now are questionable.
Well, they're all questionable, really. The whole organization is questionable.
And David, so is Oprah.
Okra. I would eat okra. Okra.
Well, he's saying okra is questionable, and I'm saying so is Oprah. Yeah. I'm just saying. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in to this edition of Moohead Radio. We'll be back again come Friday. You can bet on that.
I want you to end on Peter Alice pimping Gilly's mac and cheese.
All right.
Oh.
I would say it was a stroke of genius, but it would seem totally inappropriate. No. Gillies was a place where John Travolta danced. It's not a place that I would eat. Oh, not that Gillies.
Oh, the wrong Gillies.
Yeah, I met Mickey Gilly down here. He's dead, you know.
Everyone's dead.
Oh, that gooey macaroni and cheese. $10 for a few spoonfuls. Oh, I hope that fuels research into the hideous thing that did Nick in. But I somehow get the feeling that's not the case. Oh. It was a way to pimp $10 of mac and cheese.
For free.
I'm so done. I don't want to even go here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again on Friday.
It's a new low. It's a new low on Moohead Radio. We've hit bottom.
I'll see you on Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.